uso muito. Eu não uso muito o Zoom e de vez em quando eu tenho dificuldade, sabe? Eu uso muito o Teams no meu ambiente de trabalho. Acho que agora vai. Ok.
And,
Hello,
and I,
YouTube. Good morning, everyone on YouTube. Hi, YouTube. My name is Katiana, and today the topic in this immersion it's about aging and quality of life. And this time I stay with Claudia, and I think it's a good topic for discuss with everyone in the world because it's so important. But before I start with this conversation, I think it's important explain the talk and talk the talk and talk. Talk and Talk is a platform for everyone speaking English, have space for speak English, Spanish, Italian. I'm not a teacher, I'm an engineer. I stay here for speaking and improve my skills in speaking. And if you interesting, I think it's a good space for improve the skills in other language. But now I think it's the moment for move on with the question, Claudia. And in this time, I start with the first question. How do you think people how do you think people perception of age changed over the years? Oh, I think it's em português como que as pessoas percebem, né, como o tempo passa em this topic is so interesting because when I in this question, for example, I remember when I was a kid, the perception of the Christmas in my mind, the Christmas it's so slow in my mind. But now when I was adult and I work a lot, I think the Christmas it's very short because I remember the last Christmas, and in this moment I think it's almost in Christmas again. And for you, what do you think about this perception about the change of the mudança dos anos e tal?
yes, I totally agree with you because I remember when I was a kid, the time it's passing slow, totally slow. Oh my God. One Christmas and during the many times other. Nowadays the time the ages run a lot, and it is perceptive along the time. I think that sometimes I think it's because we have more information every day, all the time. Things change all the time about internet, the access on internet. You know about many things at the same time. I think it is do the time short time, do the time short more and more, because more information and many things change all the time and happening here in the other cities. I think it's like that.
I think in the past it's probably because like you said, now if you one thing happen in the other part of the world, you it's possible for you know it all the same time or in few minutes.
Yeah.
But in the past, no, we have time for processing this idea, have a newspaper about this, and the perception now, I think the time is short because I think, like you said, the internet connect to the people, but sometimes you stay connect with the people, with a lot of people, but you stay far away for these people because the connection now sometimes it's difficult with the person. It's different. The time it's different now, and I think this perception it's interesting because of these things. And I I remember when my mother said for me one time, when do you grow up? Probably você vai dar valor, you enjoy the little moments because you understand how the time is short in your life, how the time with your daughter is short in your life. And now I have a daughter, and my perception of the time, it's totally different when I compare with 10 years ago, because now my daughter have 6 years, and I think I was a kid for more 3 years. Before this is a teenager, and sometimes it's this perception of how the time running, it's crazy in my mind. And this perception it's different now because I may become a mother.
Yeah,
No?
This is a good point, because my daughter, when he was a kid, passing fast, totally fast. And when Natalia completes 50 years, is the date, the mark, the life of the woman, 50 years. And now, right now, complete 21. Oh my God, 6 years passing in one time. It is interesting when you observe about your son, daughter. The age pass so fast, so fast.
I think for us in a mother position, sometimes I think the missing, a saudade é sempre, né? É muito, it's more interesting because I interesting this. Every mother speak about this with me when I am pregnant, but I understand this before my daughter born, and it's the time is short, the smiles, o cheirinho. Ai, gente, this perception, it's so I'm missing sometimes. But Claudia, I'll move on, jump for the question number 2. What are some common stereotypes or misconceptions about aging that you've encouraged? Se tem algum estereotipos, né, about age. Start. What do you think about this?
Stereotypes
about age. They start I share my opinion with you first. I see a tirinha. I don't know how do you say charge. I think it's not charge. In the newspaper, and I remember the old man with I think 28 or 20. I think it's 28, it's atropelada, uma velhinha de 80 anos atropelada. Isso era uma manchete do jornal há, sei lá, 40 anos atrás. And when I see this newspaper, I say, wow, it's crazy. It's a stereotype because in that time, one woman with 38 years, it's like, it's an old woman. And in our time, the woman's living mais do que 80 until 50 and have a good quality of life. What do you think about this stereotypes?
like when my grandma talked to me, and this time when my grandma was a teenager, 14 years old, you are old, because my grandmother married 14 years. A child, 14, and my grandmother was married. So I think that this changed along the time. Thank God for it. Because when I'm a teenager, 50 years is considered the people, the age, né? Age, velhinho, 50 years, velhinho. Today, I'm 52, and I não consider the grand age. And to me, nowadays, about 80, I consider the people more age. But before that, people are okay. Today, the people, the 50 to 70 work a lot, do exercise, have a health diet. It's totally important. Take care about your health. To me, these things changed along the time. It is amazing. It is great.
These things what you said, it's so important because in the past, I think in all the time the people work a lot. Now the kind of work now it's different when we compare with my with the time with our grandfathers, grandmothers, because in that time it's the kind of work is more braçal. How do you say? Yeah. I don't know how to say braçal, but now we work with your brain, all this, the most part of the people, but for the other hand, you stay for example in a chair every moment and during the day, and you don't movement your body. And what you say is so important because in our, for example, generation, the concept of quality of life needs thinking about what you eating and what you taught, because it's important too, because now we have many different kinds of diseases, mental diseases, I think, and it's very important. And move on for the question number 3. In your opinion, how does maintain physical fitness play a role in improving the quality of life as people age? I think it's not only about what you're eating, but what you're thinking, what people stay connected with you. Because when you have friends, and it's more interesting quando você envelhece. And in the church, in the Sunday, that three woman, its friend, and they stay connected during your life in the church. And I think it's very interesting because it's friends, and now it's aquelas senhoras têm mais de 80 anos and have a long life connect, and I think it's so important. Stay connected with good persons during your life, because it's it's not about the it's not about friends, but for example, when you have a friend and this friend asking for you, for example, all the same time, oh, running with me, do exercise with me, and it's one point, it's different, because we have different kinds of friends. Sometimes we have friends, oh, go to the bar comigo, vamos beber uma cachaça. Mas quando você tem um amigo que te chama para fazer atividade física, é mais legal. And we have a friend, I think it's more comfortable, it's more easier for people. And what do you think about this, Claudia?
Do something with other people, it's great. Stay the most of the time with connect with other person. To me, it is great. And like you says, if you stay with other person, you stay more in peace with yourself. I think it's like that. Né? Stay connected, because live alone, to me, I think will be terrible.
I put in the chat one series on the Netflix. I see this series last month, and it's 1.4. I choose this topic today in this immersion. It's about blue zones around the world. This scientist studied about the blue zones around the world. Blue zone, it's a city or a space around the world when the people live in more years when compared with the other people in the same region. And it's so interesting, because one point, when you compare with the population, the people around the world, it's the point about friendship. It's so important. When in the Japanese, it's so common, the people stay connected with the family and friends and do exercise during the life with the friends. This is one point with this scientist speak about in this area, this in the nessa série. It's so interesting. If you have interesting, it's good for training the English, because the language, it's easier for understand the most part of the maior parte da série, and it's so interesting. It's so discussed about this topic, and it's totally different when you compare with the people in the Japan, when the people in Italian, because the food is totally different, but the scientists make a connection between these cultures, and the friendship and exercise between, and together the friendship. It's one point of this series. It's very interesting. It's very interesting.
Thank you for sharing.
Yes. And I think it's time for move on for the question. The question number 4. What social factors can influence the well-being and happiness of older individual in society? I think mais no sentido de fatores, né, sociais que podem influenciar na sociedade. I think the people, it's my opinion, the people now don't living together and stay a lot of time in the cell phone and in the internet. Sometimes you need to put your cell phone far away from you and stay connected with the person, in front of the person. And I think the society now needs a break for the access of internet and Instagram and Facebook, and need a time for stay together. I improve this time in my family, for example. I go to the parks with my daughter and spend time for 1 hour with my daughter, don't have cell phone, and it's a kind of connection. And because sometimes it's possible for you to stay with your one friend, speak for 1 hour, but if you stay in that table, sometimes I see many friends in front of the cell phone and don't stay connected. And it's it's é um fator social. É diferente, né? Hoje the relationship is different. Sometimes I have a difficult with these things. If I go to a restaurant with my friend, for example, I speak. Oh no, put your cell phone in the bag and speak. Stay here with me. The people sometimes don't stay connect with the other. And what do you think in this question?
Yeah, I agree with you. The technology, it can be good, but no so good too. Because now you have a cell phone, Instagram, and now you stay in Vitória, I'm in Belo Horizonte. And Zoom connect us to talk in English. It's amazing, né? But for the other side, many people stay all the time with your cell phone and não pay attention enough, né? It is no great. But sometimes you can't stay with your parents, grandmother, grandfather, and the social media help you to stay no physical presence physical, but online. And sometimes I prefer stay face to face for the people, né? I like a lot to talk, to meet people, and to me, if I encounter some people who start a conversation, I totally disconnect myself. I prefer stay talk to talk, face to face with other. I like a lot. And it is interesting to do part of some groups like English. I love English. I'm on talk to talk about. And I practice capoeira, so I have many friends like me, like a lot capoeira. Now I start dance forró, learn. So I making more friends like the same thing me. It is intense. You participate in different groups, and it is great to stay insert on society. I think like that. Maybe know what I like more and encounter pessoas. E the social media, it's important to connect with people the same you like. That's point. It's good, and I think it's more they use, you do the social media, internet.
Yes.
Put it in your favor.
Yeah. I agree with you, Claudia. I think I do capoeira when I was a teenager. I love
Oh,
capoeira. It's
amazing.
amazing. But in Vitória, it's not common have the groups of capoeira. I looking for the teachers of capoeira here, and it's not. We don't have capoeira in the neighborhoods
Ah,
next to me because I looking for my door. The kids have a energy a lot and it's
yeah,
planning for put my door in the capoeira and stay together because it's a sport who I love too.
yeah,
And it's interesting because in capoeira you make a many friends. I remember when I was a teenager. I remember I make a new a lot of friends and stay connected with the people with the other city with the other groups. It's interesting.
yeah. Try encounter um, some group in your city because my group is do amazing work. I work with kids, many kids in my group, and it's very good for stay helping the kids to be a good person in future. Capoeira is amazing.
Yeah,
I love.
yeah. The sport. It's so important because uh, about the age. Now I it's sad, but I see many. I see the kids. It's fat now. It's don't movement your body because have a cell phone. I sometimes I see the friends of my daughter have a cell phone. I don't do, eu não dei esse telefone, nem vou dar para minha filha tão cedo, porque ela é criança. Aí,
I
but I
agree. Totally agree with you.
yes, and my daughter uh, love swimming and do the ginástica olímpica and stay and do exercise. But I see many kids in front of the television with the video game during the day or in front of the cell phone, and it's in the future probably these kids have a problem with the because we become a age person more fast because when you don't movement your body you have different kinds of diseases like cardiac problems uh, or mental problems because when you quando the fat life a vida de quando você how do you say these things in English? It's different for me, but the a gordura hoje é considerada um problema de saúde crônica no mundo, né?
Yeah.
And between the youngers and the kids, the numbers of the people with excesso de peso, it's
Yeah.
increased
Yeah.
in these last years. It's a big problem for the health, for the public health, saúde pública, and for this person in the future, I think.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the kids nowadays don't care about to exercise to play with other other kids and don't like to talk face to face, only on cell phone and the other thing. But I think the parents can or the people take care about the kids need needs do something about it. You don't get the kids stay all the time on social media, né? Because if you give for one kid something more interesting, like ride a bike with your kid and go out to walking. I think the kid will prefer stay with your parent or your brother doing something different.
Yeah.
Cabe ao adulto mostrar, né? Show the kid other options, not only cell phone, television all the time. No, it is no good for your mental health, né? Your body and mental health too.
Yeah. I agree with you, and I believe this, and I live this. And it's a kind of thought I have sometimes, because it's not possible for the parents close the door between the technology, because the technology between stay with us all the same times. But I think if the kids need the time for moving our bodies, because have a lot of energy. And I read a book, it's Geração Dopamina. It's an interesting book. It's explain about this. This kind of dopamine with the cell phone, it's a very cheap dopamine, and it's like a cocaine or a sugar or other kinds of drugs. It's very, and it's possible for the kids se viciar naquilo ali muito rápido.
Yeah.
And after I read this book, I put in my mind, no, it's my daughter need to have a connection with the technology, but for a little in short moments in the day. But I put my daughter for running, for swimming, for other kinds of dopamines, because I think it's important.
Good dopamine, né? Swim, walk, ride a bike, it's a good dopamine.
Yes.
Encontra dopamine in others good things, not only stay all the time itself. But like you said, it is important too, because the generation needs learn about how to use the internet, the other things. But I think it's like that. Little time for it. No, all the time.
Yes, I agree with you. Claude, I think the time is running, and I think it's probably
the time running.
Yes.
It is a good example. The time passed so fast when I make something pleasure, né? Feel pleasure in make something. The time pass fast.
Yes, a prosa é boa.
Yeah.
Em português.
We're having a good time.
Yes. I jump for the question number 5, probably is the last. How does financial planning and retirement saving impact one's quality of life in their later years? This is an interesting question. What do you think about this?
I think when you are retired, you would have have more money to spend your time. But unfortunately, when you are retired, the the money is less, totally less, because you don't work more. When when you work a lot, you don't have time. When you have time, you don't have more money. You have less. But you need have jeitinho to do something. Because, like, if you walking for the places, park, or other places, good place, you don't need to pay for it. Ride a bike, don't need to pay. And nowadays, there is many places with things for the old people, né? Encontro, like in prefeituras promovem some activities specific for the old people, né? And I think like that. You need to pay attention what I can do, no spend more money, because money you don't have much, no much less. But I think many things you don't need to pay. Talk to other people. Talk. You don't need to pay for it. Read books on library. I love library. I don't like read only on tablet, on cell phone. I don't like that. I like stay with my book and feel the book. And I don't need to pay. There are public library, né? Like that. Jeitinho brasileiro.
I thank you for sharing your thoughts. And I think I agree with you. When you have money, you don't have time. But when you have time, you don't have money. And this question is interesting because when you old person, you need money because sometimes I think the people don't planning the retired, and when you retire, probably you need to pay for a pillows, remédios, and the plano de saúde, it's more expensive. And I think for us it's more for us, this kind of discussion sometimes it's more common. But for example, my mother and my father, my grandfather and my grandmother don't have this kind of planning. Não planejaram. Então it's sometimes it's common. I see the people depend of the children for take care and don't have money because the pillows it's so expensive. It's and don't thinking about what I eating now, and what if I eating one thing now, probably a bad thing now, for a bad food now, for example, this, and every day eating bad food, in 15 years I stay in a bed, no. And other person put a fraldinha em mim, é o futuro. And I think this topic is interesting because of this. Your choices now is connected with your life in 30 years, in 40 years. I speak with my husband every time. Probably I'm an old woman and I'm running, I'm travel. It's my kind of plans for the future, because it's not possible for me, eu não me vejo sentada, quietinha, não. I see my...
Fazendo tricô.
No, probably. I'm like, I think I'm running, I'm swimming in the swimming pool where I swim. I see women and old men with 80 anos nadando. And I think probably it's my point, is my minha inspiração. Acho tão bonito. And Claudia, the time is almost finished. I put the survey in the chat. Please, if you love this immersion, put your opinion in the survey, or if you hate this topic in immersion, put your opinion in the chat. If you have a good point or a good topic for discussing the next immersion, put in the survey. And thank you for staying with me. It's a good conversation, it's a good prosa hoje. I espero que você esteja semana que vem aqui também. And I think it's this. It's time for say bye-bye for the people on YouTube now. And thank you. Obrigada.
It's a pleasure for me. I loved our conversation.
Bye-bye.